welcome to this week's development log. This week's video is going to be a little bit different. Normally I would start on Monday or Tuesday, basically at the beginning of the week, but today it's already Saturday. I kind of took the week off from development, but this weekend I intend to be very productive and get as much progress done as I can on Blink. So this video is just kind of going to be walking you through how my weekend goes as a hobbyist game developer with a full-time job who spends a lot of time on his weekend working on his personal projects. But I also leave time for just some fun and relaxing, as weekends should be, right? So without any further ado, let's jump into what we're going to work on. Just to give you guys the full picture of my weekend, I actually woke up at about 5:30 this morning and showered and made some coffee and played The Division for about an hour. I love to wake up on Saturday mornings and just kind of relax with a cup of coffee and play video games. In my mind, that's just the perfect way to start a weekend. Anyway, after a little bit of that, figured it was time to hunker down and get some work done on Blink. So here's what I want to work on this weekend. First, I want to finish up the bats that I got about halfway through implementing last week. Then I want to implement some good suggestions that I had for enhancements to the sound design in Blink. I've got a few ideas on how I want to do that, so I'll be recording some new sounds either today or tomorrow. And finally, I've got a few known defects right now that I've had hanging over me, so I want to wrap those up. Alright guys, so I finished up the bat implementation. I gotta say, I really love how it turned out. You also see I unlocked my little bumblebee character here, which I think looks awesome. So we'll go ahead and play and get eaten by a bat and see how that goes. So as you can see, he makes a little chomping sound when he eats the player. We wait about 2 seconds so that you can absorb the gravity of the situation that you've just been eaten by a bat, and we go to the in-game screen. And this all works as you might expect. You can continue the round by watching a video advertisement, or you can just start a new one. So we'll do that one more time. I really love the sound that that makes. In that case, he missed. It was really close, so I've kind of honed down the colliders a little bit, which I think is a bit nice. Yeah, I love that. That sounds great. Yeah, so I'm pleased with that, and I think I'm going to take a break now and get geared up for recording some new sound effects for the player. As far as the player sound design goes, a lot of you guys gave me feedback that it'd be great to have some type of sequential progression as you fill circles. Right now there are just 4 different sounds that play based on how accurate the fill was, but it'd be nice to be rewarded if you string together good fills. Now this made me think about The Legend of Zelda Wind Waker, specifically the training minigame at the beginning, where you're kind of smacking the old dude around and it plays a really nice combination of chords to let you know that you're doing the right thing. Now I want to try and emulate that with Blink, so here's a little something that I came up with. So our next steps today are going to be actually recording that in GarageBand, exporting it over to Unity, and getting that hooked up to the player. Alright, so I've got all those sounds recorded in GarageBand, exported as a singular WAV file, and then I cut that up in Audacity, and I've got my individual 8 sounds here. It's about 9 o'clock, so I've been working for about 2 hours this morning and made a bunch of progress, so I think it's time to take a break, and I'll pick up this sound stuff in a little bit. Now that I have refueled with pancakes, I think I'm ready to get back to work. I was going to take a little bit of a longer break, but I'm feeling like I'm on a roll this morning, and I think I've got a good idea of how I want to implement these changes to the sound effects. So I'm going to try and knock it out. Alright, that didn't take long at all, so I'll go ahead and show you how that turned out. We'll go ahead and try to fill about 8 in a row with high accuracy and see how that sounds. Oops. So I did poorly right there and it reset. That's a bug. Alright, so we got the whole progression there. I think that sounds really nice. As I play this more, I realize the bats actually do a really good job of being annoying and preventing those consecutive fills. So it makes it pretty hard to actually get to the top of that little crescendo there, which is a lot of fun. Really happy with the way both of these things have turned out, and they didn't even take me as long as I thought today or this weekend. So I think it's time for me to actually take a long break now and probably scope in some more stuff to figure out what I'm going to do later today. Hey everyone, we're back at around 1:15 p.m. Just had a break to play some Rocket League and have a snack, and now I want to knock out one quick problem I noticed after I finished implementing the new sounds, and that is that the particle explosions now feel kind of out of place. If I get a perfect circle fill, I see a big particle explosion, but sometimes it's just like the lowest note in the kind of progression there, and it doesn't really match the visual effect. So what I want to do is put the particle explosions on the same kind of scale as the sound, so meaning that as you have a longer streak of accurate circle fills, the particle explosions will get bigger and bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and work on that now. Alright guys, that did not take me long at all, about 5 minutes. My Game World class kind of looks like a huge mess here, but in reality I've got these little chunks, these little functions that kind of each have one responsibility as far as the life cycle of the game, and because I've designed it that way, it's been really easy to go in here and make these kinds of small modifications. Anyway, I will be quiet now, and I'm going to try to get a streak of 8 so you can hear and see what this sounds like. That was close. I love that. I think that looks really cool. Feels a lot more cohesive to kind of have those two, or the visual and the audio thing, kind of matching up there. So that was easier than I thought. I need to look at Trello and see what I'm going to do next. Morning folks, and welcome back. It's Sunday at around 7:30 a.m. and today I think I want to knock out at least an attempt at the splash screen for Blink. So I'm going to get to work on that. That's going to start with creating some art on my iPad. So I'm probably going to sit down and watch a show and kind of casually work on that, enjoy some coffee, and I will let you guys know once I have some progress. Alright, so here's my little DevDuck character that I created quite a while ago. It's basically just a duck with a little link hat, which I really like. And all I did was create a little animation for him. So I'm going to incorporate this somehow into my splash screen. Welcome back guys, it's around 12:30 p.m. on Sunday, and I've made some progress on my splash screen, which I want to show off. I basically just got a new scene with some animations where my duck zooms in, you see developed by DevDuck, and then a fade out into the main game. Now that looks pretty great on this particular device. I think this is like, I don't know, just a particular size of iPhone, but there's a problem on many other screen sizes where that doesn't look quite as good. You can even see that's the case here on the home screen with my start button. So even though I made good progress today, I think some of my time next week will be devoted towards making this stuff look good on every different device that I plan to support with Blink. With that, I think we're ready to wrap up this video. This one was a little bit different. We only did development over Saturday and Sunday rather than all week long, but we still made a lot of progress, which is pretty exciting. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, I appreciate all the feedback you guys give me. I love chatting with you guys in the comments about ideas for Blink or the videos or whatever you want to talk about. Thank you for watching again, and I'll see you in next week's video.